On today's episode of Juice 901, we will be discussing Anthony Wall's Waffle House assault, Oklahoman's modern-day lynching incident, and the subject of pro-blacks dating non-blacks. So sit back and take a sip with Juice.
What up, y'all? It's your girl, K. Michelle, and I am chilling with Juice 901 Podcast. Make sure you check it out.
What's up, you mother suckers? Right now, you're watching Juice 901.
You heard it.
Juice 901.
Juice 901,
Right.
man.
Who
We
got
got
the
Michael
juice?
Blackston. Who got the juice?
He got the juice.
Hey, my loves, it's your girl Monique. And if y'all want the juice, tune into Juice 901 with Tay, India, and Jahara. Only where the real juice gets delivered.
I wouldn't be able to understand, so I said, I don't think I can
contagiously influential. Say what it do, what it ain't, what it is. Listening to music, watching cartoons. Since I was a kid. Say what it do, what it ain't, what it is. Listening to music, watching cartoons. Since I was a kid. Turn the radio on. That's my jam. Beats banging loud like the door. With the slam. Music blast out. The sunroof play my music real loud so they can.
What's up? It's your boy Tay Speaks.
What's up, guys? It's India Ebony, the 4'9 goddess.
What's poppin'? It's your girl J Money, the soul pleaser, and we here, we back.
We back.
Back at it.
Yeah.
And first off, we just want to appreciate all the mothers out there. We know Mother's Day just passed. We just want to honor you guys for everything you guys do. Thank you. Keep doing y'all thing.
Keep doing y'all thing, y'all thug dizzle.
What's one trait you guys think you guys have from your mother? Like, one thing you should blame, or people say to you, or like,
That we're twins,
for real.
basically. Yeah.
I don't know.
Wow.
Man, I got my mom's head.
What?
She got a big head. I got a big head.
My mom gave me my booty. Got that from my mom. No, this one.
Well,
What booty? Now I think I got her like personality, like how she's caring for others, and she's very nice. I think that. I guess got that a little bit from her.
I gotta think on that a little bit.
Well, we'll get back to him. But what's up, guys? We got a special guest.
Special guest?
Guest?
Yeah, I ain't gonna say special, but
He ain't special.
Alright, well,
Yeah.
introduce myself.
Yeah, go
Alright.
ahead.
Hi, my name is Matthew Moore. I'm a biomedical engineering student at the University of Memphis, and in my free time, I'm a freelance graphic designer, and I've actually been working with Tay, trying to design a logo for them, so be on the lookout for that. And that's about it. I'm ready to get into it.
Let's go.
woo.
What's the
juice?
juice?
All right, so first thing we should discuss, or we're going to discuss, is the Waffle House incident with Anthony Walls. He was taking his sister to prom earlier that day, and you know, Waffle House is the spot for like everything. You can never go wrong with Waffle House. But lately, apparently, black people can. So let's you want to give them like more.
So pretty much, the young man, I have to look up his name. I keep forgetting his name for some reason. But he just finished taking his little sister to prom, and they apparently got to arguing with one of the employees. It was like an altercation that happened before the police showed up. So when the police or the security who was working at Waffle House showed up, he was I guess trying to get him to leave. Where the Bryce was trying to get him to leave, he was choking him, and the guy ended up reacting, trying to, fight him off, and was like, get your hands off me, go get your supervisor or whatever. And you guys heard about this story, right?
Yeah.
And basically, so it was this big uproar about, I know Martin Luther King's daughter, what's her name? It's gonna kill. But anyway, she sent out a tweet saying, we should boycott Waffle House because it's been a lot of incidents that's been happening. Like I think like last month or a couple weeks ago actually, a young African American lady got jacked out of a chair by the police there. So now it's this, and it's just back-to-back things, and now they call for a boycott about Waffle House. But what do you guys think on it?
I just I feel like it's not necessarily like Waffle House,
Yeah,
like the brand, like the restaurant, like their issue is just like I guess the type of crowd that people think that it brings, I feel like it's more of a demographic thing, like maybe the location, like the police or people in that area, or let's just be real here. Black people be at Waffle House, like more than any other, like it's just obvious. When you walk in a Waffle House, you see mainly black people, so I think it's more of a subconscious psychological thing when it comes to like police officers or white people in an environment where they're not predominantly,
because
you know what I mean?
Waffle House, they already have police officers there.
Or they do have like a security.
Everyone's coming in and out, eating and stuff like
I
that.
think a boycott would actually defeat the purpose because it's like most people working at Waffle House also tend to be black. So like you're just gonna put a lot of our own out of work.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you try to achieve by doing that.
I don't think that I don't necessarily think that it's Waffle House. I like as particular like their brand or anything, but I feel like it's more, we need to just I'm not even gonna say awareness. It's just the fact that this just needs to quit. Like this is racist. It's the whole thing. Like with all of these incidents, it has been a racial thing, and I think it's just because the circumstance, it's ironic that it's always been Waffle House, that it's been several incidents, but I feel like it's more so like the people, it's what they're thinking, like it's their motives, I feel like. So I don't think Waffle House has anything to do with like
so
the situation.
Yeah, so it's kind of confusing.
I almost feel like in this situation though, can you really blame Waffle House? Because they had an argument with customers that came there. They called the police, which is what you're trained to do as like an employee, like when something gets out of hand. And then from that point, it was the police. So I'm not really sure if you can pin the police officer's behavior, if you deem it as like justified or not, on Waffle House at all.
So do you think that the police officer's actions was justified?
So like back home, my father is a police officer, and one thing that a lot of people don't think about is like every time a police officer is like engaged, like in altercation, they don't know 100% what is going on, and the moment they show up, like a weapon is involved in the altercation, because the police officer carries a gun, they carry a weapon. So at any point, they could have like their weapon stolen, and then it becomes like a life or death situation for the officer too. And so officers aren't trained to be like the best like hand-to-hand combatants. They're like there to try to defuse the situation and like just make things stop. So in that situation, like it seemed like the police officer was stronger than him. He probably didn't have to choke him, but as far as like the person like passively resisting, like
see, I don't know if I 100% agree with that. And the only reason I say this is because, I mean, first of all, well, the guy admitted that he might have taken it too far, with him and his sister arguing with the employees. So he admitted to his fault on that. But at the end of the day, if you're trying to de-escalate the situation, you say they're not trained with their hands or whatever.
No, they are trained. They're not trained to be like. It's not gonna be like an action movie where you're just taking on like a swarm of people, and it's just like.
So therefore, they just react in a way that, to protect themselves at all times. But if you say he's resisting, choke slam and all that. I mean, I look at it like this. It's so we gotta cut this. You say we gotta cut some slack in that department. Like but they have to cut us some slack, being that if I get choke slammed or anything, my natural instinct like he's gonna kick in. Somebody grab my neck, I'm telling you I can't breathe. So I have two decisions. We live in a world where it's like, all right, if I don't fight back, I might die because I can't breathe. You choking me. If I do fight back, I might die. So it's like it's a lose-lose.
Yeah, so it's like from that point, definitely like it's more like you're mostly going off of instinct, but just like beforehand, just like you should really just let them arrest you, and then you can get it sorted out later. I feel, but this is gonna be the main thing that's gonna keep you safe.
But like you said, he didn't start getting aggressive and everything until he couldn't breathe. So it's like if I'm telling you like you choking me, you still choking me.
From the clip I saw, wasn't he like he's being held against like the glass, right?
Yeah.
And like was the cop trying to put his hands behind his back, and he wasn't.
Yeah, he was being pressed against. He had his hand right here behind his neck and had his head right in it, like it's like this.
Okay.
So it's like if I'm telling you I can't breathe or anything, like there's some stuff as a cop you have to take into consideration also, because you can't really say, well, you should be still let them arrest you. It's like, well, I can't breathe.
Okay.
Like
I didn't realize he was being choked from behind.
Yeah, that's what he was saying for John. He's like, I can't breathe. Like, you choking me, get your hands off me. And then that's when, naturally he started resisting, then he grabbed him from the back and then threw him around and just slammed him on the ground.
Okay.
So I mean, at the end of the day, it's like I said, bro. Like I told y'all in the group, it's black people are gonna get tired, and it's gonna be a natural instinct to fight back.
Yeah.
It's a lose-lose situation.
And like when you just think about like the whole process of like I don't know how to say it, but this is like just another step. Like you said, people like black people will get tired, and eventually there will be like another like war type of thing, like that happened in like the 50s, like when people were actually like rioting and yeah, like an LA riot type of thing. Like when people were literally fed up, they were tired of talking, they just started setting shit on fire and shit. That's what's gonna happen next. Like that probably is like it's just a matter of time.
And of course, no one wants it to, but I just see like it's gonna get real bad before it gets real good.
Yeah.
It's the way we're going right now, and it's because nothing's being done.
Yeah.
Definitely
Like,
something has to change.
it's just that people keep talking about it, like, but but at the same time, like, how can, like, what can you really do, because, like...
Because it's the thing about it, it's not what we can really do as black people, it's more so, because we're not the ones that's killing ourselves. We're not the ones that's just getting away with the crime.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's more so what they can do on that side to prevent this stuff from happening.
Yeah, okay, so, let's talk about the lynching in Oklahoma. This was, like, this past week, I believe?
I think it happened a couple weeks ago, but just now.
Oh, it never got coverage, which is
Yeah.
why. Okay, so, so there was two young men that were trying to order they were picking up a gun that they ordered on Craigslist. It was already, which is already like an illegal thing already. They were picking up a firearm from a young white male. The two guys that were going, that they were two young black men, Alize Smith and Jerron Moreland. So, but yeah, I don't remember how old they were. I think one of them
Yeah,
like
both were 21.
21, 22. Yeah, 21. And the guys that were when they met up, they met like by a lake in a like neighborhood or something. And
No. Well, they met at the
they met like that by a lake.
They met at
The
the
bodies
grocery
were
store.
dumped in a lake.
Yeah, the bodies were dumped.
Oh, I
they
thought
met.
they met at a
They met at a grocery store parking lot.
Okay.
Let
Well,
me tell you.
what? Like that's not
Yeah.
what I read.
So basically, they like the first part was right. They was meeting on Craigslist. They met on Craigslist. They was going to pick up the guns from the two white guys who are brothers, and they got the black guys arrived. And got in the back seat, and they got shot because one of the white guys in the driver's seat said he thought he heard a gun click. So he said his brother fired the gun at one of the black dudes 4 times. Well, at the guys 4 times, and when they ended up dying or whatever. So one of the white guys ended up calling his mama and was like, he told him what happened, and the mother's boyfriend told him to come to the house. So they ended up dragging the bodies in the car or whatever, and they had blood, of course, blood spattered all over the ceiling. So they ended up getting cleaning products, trying to clean it up. And before all that happened, though, they burnt the guy's clothes that they killed, and they tied cinder blocks to their legs and dumped them in the river. And that's why I think it's called lynching, because if when you hear cinder blocks getting tied to the ankles of the black guys and dumped in the ponds, that's exactly what they did to Emmett Till.
Yeah.
So that's why they call it, lynching is not always,
Being strung up.
yeah, lynching is not being hung by the tree. Lynching is just a form of killing. I'm gonna look up the exact definition, but it's like basically,
Yeah, because I was wondering about why they would call it a lynching opposed to just like a murder. Just because like usually like a lynching was almost like a community effort, and then most of the times the perpetrators weren't punished for it.
Yeah.
And so
I feel like the word lynch was just like, I feel like it was more just like a murder more so, but I mean.
I guess it just depends on the style.
Yeah.
What kind of murder it was.
But in this case, those people were charged with like several charges. Like they have 2nd and 3rd degree murder, illegal use or possession of firearm, like all that. So I mean, I'm pretty sure like their families are satisfied with that. Well, not satisfied, but you know, like, yeah. They're
Yeah,
like, that is not, yeah, like they're just
anything like usual.
Yeah.
Yeah, the grandmother said like that was like the uncle, you know, he was like, you know, we needed this. At least we have closure now. It's real messed up. How young they were. Like he said, it was 20. Like both of them, 21 years old. Just became, you know, legal to do everything. Craigslist. I mean, it's dangerous. It's.
Yeah. I mean, also just looking at the circumstance, like I'm not sure what Oklahoma got over there. Yeah, I'm like, it could be. I feel like it's a lot of just. You could really go on in this story.
It's crazy how the situation, you know, really didn't have any light.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like what's going on there to where this is not a big thing.
Bigger, yeah.
Yeah, like what else is going? That's what I'm saying. Like what else could be going on that we just don't know about? Because and also it's more of a, it's kind of a rural state as a whole. So it's like that's some weird stuff going on. Exactly, like weird. So yeah.
I don't know, but like I said, great job to the police for catching the guys.
Yeah.
Actually caught them with the cleaning products in their cars and the bleach and everything, and what's it called, the power or something, power washer. Yeah, had one of those in the car and everything. That was about to. That was trying to
Get
clean
rid of all of that.
what, all the evidence. Probably gonna burn the car too.
Yikes.
Should've
I don't-
started with that.
How could you
So,
make that your country?
For,
Psychopath.
but I'm saying like for
Yeah,
why they trying to kill them? Like that just don't. It's
You talking about they tried? Talking about they shot him?
no, I'm saying like I just.
Well, that might also be why they call it like a lynching, just because it seemed senseless.
Yeah, it seemed like it
Yeah,
was really
senseless.
no real reason.
Yeah, it was no real reason. That's, you know, back in the day, that's what it was. I mean, it was no real reason other than the color of your skin. And also, like, you know, like I said, when they dumped the body in the river and tied a cinder block to it, it's like an instant reminder of what they did to Emmett Till. Then a race page into it. You don't know if it was racial discrimination, because what their story could be not at all what happened.
And
All
then
we
on
have
top
is
of
their
that,
story.
what kind of worries me about it is that they met up just to meet somewhere else. It was kind of, it's just, you know, that whole thing was kind of shady too. It's like, but like I said in the article that I read, it didn't say that they met at a grocery store. It said that.
It seemed like they tried to play it safe by meeting at the grocery store, but it still.
That's what I'm saying. Like
ended
it was
up
like
bad.
it was like a like, well, not careless, but like it was something they was already kind of on some
Don't
other
stop
stuff
at
anyway.
Don't stop at Craigslist. This thing.
Yeah, be careful, guys.
Yeah.
For real, man. What's the next juice?
Okay, so let's go into the main topic, which we're gonna talk about if you can claim the term pro-black, but if you date non-blacks, does that make you not pro-black?
I don't see what your skin tone has to do with how you think and what you know. I mean, I don't. If I decide to marry a white woman, that doesn't wipe off everything that I've ever learned. That doesn't wipe off everything, like any way how I grew up. I just think you like what you like, and you know. What do you guys think? I mean, I don't see a problem with it.
I really agree with it. Just like he said, I feel the people that say you can't be pro-black and they outside the race have like a different definition that, at least that I understand for being pro-black. For me, because being pro-black for me is just like seeking like equal rights and like value for like my race or like my culture. And so if I get that, but at the same time I happen to be like in love with someone that isn't my same race, I don't see how that takes away from like my love or appreciation for like my own culture.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, but most people say, you know, that it's a problem because you look like a hypocrite.
Oh yeah.
And basically, you just don't. It's basically an image. The only,
It's just how you look.
Yeah, it's solely based on other people's opinion. That's the only way that people view it as bad. Like, I don't want to be like pro-black this and pro-black that, and I'm black this and I'm black this, and then I'm dating a white woman. The only thing that's gonna keep me from doing that is what people might think of me. Like, in actuality, it doesn't change anything I just said. I mean,
like Matt said, it'll just have to. I guess it just depends on everyone's definition of pro-black, because everyone's
Yeah.
definition of pro-black is not the
It's
same.
not the same.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like how you were saying earlier, I think it does have to do with, like your environment and things like that. What are your, like, what you are, as a person, aside from being pro-black and needing to feel like, especially in this day and age, that you have to be that way because you're like black and it's like, oh, they're doing us wrong, so pro-black, like, you know what I mean? Like, just who you are naturally, like, where you grew up and all that, that plays a role into, like, your dating life. It does, like, who, like you said, you went to, like, a private school or whatever, so your selection of people who are the same race as you is limited to someone who went to a public school or, the different neighborhoods and things like that. So it's like, honestly, maybe you may not relate to your black people in that way, like intellectually or whatever. Like you may not be in that capacity, but that doesn't mean that you're racist or you're choosing.
Or you don't like your own people.
Yeah, or like, oh, I like, not saying that you don't like them. It's just like, hey, this is what I know. This is what I'm used to, So it's
How
like.
do you feel about like white people that have that same stance? Like they grew up around like all white people, so now like they don't want to date outside their race. Like that same.
Yeah, I actually know someone like that. They don't really, their perception of their own people, I guess, is kind of more distorted. So they prefer not to date their same race because of that, and they're white.
Okay, well, actually, I would mean like the reverse. So like, this is a white person saying they won't date black people off of like what?
Oh.
Yeah, just because like
They're deliberately saying that I'm not dating.
Yeah.
I don't date. I mean, well, you just went out of your way for no reason because you could just say I'm fine with dating my race. Like, I just feel like that was an unnecessary.
I don't see a problem with it. Look, bro, if you, like me, I know me right now, I don't know how I might think in the future. I don't know what the future holds. But as of right now, I know I want to marry an African American woman. Period. Like, it's just, I know I would love to marry a black woman. Nothing against white people, nothing against any other race. Cause it might be a whole different ballgame 10 years from now. I don't know how life may work out. But I mean, just like at the end of the day, you date who you date. And if a white person says I don't want to date outside my race, now if they say I don't like niggas or I don't like this is like this is different. It's a whole different
Also, fetishes
conversation.
Too.
It's a whole different conversation.
Be careful. If you are like dating someone outside of yours, especially if they're, I don't care if this sounds racist because it's not racist. If you're dating someone that's like white or black and you're like the opposite race of them, I'd say be aware of like the way that they talk to you, especially when it's intimate. Because I feel like some people don't realize that they have like a fetish about that. They may not realize that that's actually unhealthy. So.
What do you mean like a fetish with like another race?
Yeah, like how there are white men that like black women.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you at all.
Yeah, no, I'm just explaining. But also, like, some people, they don't realize that that's a fetish, that's like an unhealthy psychological thing that could be going on.
Those are the ones who would like talk to you, but not really.
Yeah, then they choose to not understand the whole pro-black thing. You know what I mean? Like, that's a thing. It really is.
I do believe that if you do date outside your race, whatever the situation may be, your significant other can support you the same way or as much as you dating somebody the same race. Yeah.
I think that there's a level. Yeah, sorry.
100%.
I think that there is a level of understanding that, like.
What do you mean by support?
Which I mean, it's cool, but what'd you say?
So what do you mean by support you?
I mean, like, the whole pro-black thing, and I believe that they can't stand behind you 100% because they're not going to fully understand, what you're going through. So they can't, like, I guess really just relate and back up what you're saying as much as somebody the same race as you.
I would agree that they wouldn't be able to relate in the same way, but I think as far as that they can understand, they can, like, support you.
Yeah, that's why you got to be careful with those.
To a certain extent.
I mean, they can support you, like, for example, doing this, my girl, she's not into the whole podcast radio thing, but she can support everything that I'm doing. I does. Everything that I'm doing, she can support everything that I'm doing, but, like, is she not, I'm saying, like, she can support it, she's not going to fully understand everything that I'm coming from, every way that I'm coming from with the
well, you
blackness
doing a
or anything.
podcast isn't racist. or it has anything to do with race. She's talking about like this is so you cannot change the color of your skin. Like you cannot, whether you bleach it or whatever, all that, you will always be black. You will always be white.
Yes, and I'm
And
not
then,
arguing
you know
that.
what I mean? That whatever comes with that will always come with it.
And I'm not arguing that. She said that because she's white, she's not gonna be able to support her black boyfriend or husband, right?
Not as much as a black person can.
And that's what I'm saying. Why wouldn't she be able to say support him? She might not be able to understand every angle that he's coming from, but
Because
why can't she
her
have his back with
speaking-
other thing?
Her speaking is kind of like invalid a little bit.
I can't.
That's
really
just my
agree with
personal
that.
opinion.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel.
Cause it's just like, okay, you have like, okay, say you're at a rally and you have a group of black people. They're like, they're doing their thing. Then all of a sudden you see a white person come out of nowhere. You're gonna look back and like, it's just,
Yeah, but that's-
I see
but
what
that's-
you're saying.
But
Like,
I see
it's
what
like-
you're saying, but that's without having that's off instinct. That's without trying to have a conversation with that person that he's with. That's off going off like she white, she don't know nothing, or she white, she can't support him. Like that's without having any type of conversation with that person. That's going off straight stereotype.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just feel.
Hey, stereotypes are real.
No, not all of them are real.
I think stereotypes have probably a statistical correlation with a certain group of people, but there's so much variation even within a certain group that you should not use a stereotype to justify any decision.
That is true.
It's just like I said, she might not be able to understand everything and every point he's coming from, but she can definitely say, "Babe, I got you. I'm gonna support you. No matter what these people think of me, I got you."
I mean, yeah, I'm not saying she can't support him at all. I'm just saying it's not gonna be as powerful,
I agree,
as strong as much as dating somebody your same race.
I think it's gonna
point blank
be-
period, because they don't go through what we go through.
I think
That's
image-wise,
that's just point blank.
I think image-wise it wouldn't be as strong, but
Mind-wise too. You
What
can't.
she's has read the same books and educated herself.
and grew up in the same hood, and grew up the same way. Is
At the end of the day, when two people are put into two different situations, it's not
You
gonna
walk
go.
outside with some weed in your hand, and she walk outside with some weed in her hand.
Exactly. Like it's like one of those. It's not gonna end. It's just not gonna end well.
That's a whole different argument, though.
Yeah, 'cause that's other people's perception. Of,
Yeah, you're basing it off if I date this white person, the image won't be as strong and the this the only point that you can argue. Like the image won't be as strong. They won't view me and what I'm saying and what she's saying is anything but she can support everything that I do. You might want to tell her to be quiet in certain situations. Let me talk on it.
Yeah, it's cool. Got my sports cool.
Yeah, look, everybody got their own opinion. I personally don't see that much of a problem with it. Now, I do agree you might have to tell her, let me talk in certain situations, because coming out of your mouth, it's not going to sound good, no matter how well you say it.
And then you have to explain that to them as well. You can't just expect them to understand that either.
Yeah, but that's going to also take listening and not when she walk in the room and be like, oh my God, he walking in with his white wife. I don't want none of him or her.
No, I'm talking about you. That's something that you have to deal with at home, not when you walk into a room and have a conversation or whatever. I'm talking about if you say that to your white wife, you can't expect her to not feel some type of way, because that can also sound like, hey, I don't have a voice just because I don't have a you know what I mean?
Well, this gonna, like you said, it's
That's what I'm
gonna
saying.
take some conversation.
Yeah.
I'm not,
and then I feel like I'm saying this because Jay is saying in the sense of it being a natural understanding, a natural it feels better when you don't have to do all that. I think that's kind of what she's trying to do.
But I would argue though, I see what you're saying. I would argue though that just because you date somebody black doesn't mean they're always enlightened.
Very true.
Because
It'll
I
be a little easier though than
Not-
dating. What the hell? It's gonna be a
not-
lot easier than dating a white
you
girl.
would think
Come on
that.
now.
I promise you would think that, but it's not all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a big misconception that black people are
Just
unmonitored.
know their history, just know this and know this and know
I'm not saying everybody knows.
Well,
this,
first
this,
of all,
that.
you have to think
but
you have to think of the circumstances that we live in as people who like doing this.
But also
this
think
thing.
about all the black people who know about their ancestors and all that, and still don't agree with a lot of the stuff that black people say about slavery and all that.
That's a whole different.
It's not. It's not.
Gotta get back in the country.
What?
I'm talking about. You said it'd be easy for a black person to understand, the pain and all that. That
I know, like on our campus, we have black men that like joined white fraternities that were founded
Yeah.
by
I know that.
like civil or like people that were fighting for the Confederate side. So it's like people that are aware of the history, like they have to learn it to join the organization. They're black, they've lived like a life as a black person, but they still have found a way to align themselves with something that most black people would deem as like unacceptable. So this is like, just because he's black doesn't mean you can automatically assume that he understands or is gonna have that same like correlation or understanding that you do.
I'm telling you, it all boils down to what your opinion. I mean,
but my bad. Go ahead.
yeah, I say it just all boils down to what you're gonna always think about. What people are gonna think about you. It just all boils down to what people's opinions. I gotta have this black wife. If I'm pro-black, because if I don't.
I'm not saying it's a problem with dating outside your race. Like generally, I'm just saying it's gonna be a rocky road. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, nobody's arguing that.
I'm not saying as if dating somebody your same race. Like,
I mean, yeah, nobody's arguing that. It's definitely gonna be a rocky road. Period.
Do what works for you. Stay black and die. That is your only job.
Anyway, any more juice?
Absolutely not.
As always, thank you to all our subscribers. Keep subscribing to Juice 901. Matt, thank you for stopping by Juice 901.
yes,
Thank you for having me.
Cause you ain't have to, but you knew where the ghost was at.
I want to hear you guys' opinions about this though. Comment below.
Yeah. I remember like earlier in our juice days, like we would, I would like sometimes post questions on Snapchat. I might start doing that again, especially for this topic, because whatever. It's a very opinionated topic apparently, so I want to hear what y'all got to say.
For which one?
Yeah. Oh, and we can make a conversation on Twitter, a poll on Twitter or something. We'll see how that goes.
Talk to us.
Yeah.
We want to hear it.
Truly.
So what's the question? Does dating outside your race make you less pro-black?
Yeah. And also, what does pro-black mean to you? Just some regular, like.
What's the definition of pro-black?
Yeah, because nobody needs to be dating in 2018 anyway. If you ask me.
You don't get chose.
This guy.
Anywho, yeah.
Anyway, who got the juice?
Who
We
got
got
the
the
juice?
juice.
Juice 901.
Keep the peace.